Stay tuned for the end of the video for my review of upcoming movie trailers. And now, back to my review of The Boss Baby.
Wow. Just wow. I knew it. The Boss Baby would be DreamWorks' comeback. And because when I saw it, it was awesome! Now, let's just get started on it. Where you would, of course, there would be a movie about a baby that, well, is the boss, really. But that's the least of it. It is probably DreamWorks' comeback, and their best original movie of the decade. I mean, in fact, it even is as good as Kung Fu Panda 2 and How to Train Your Dragon 2. It's that good. Like, I just saw it last night. It was the best. Well, as of Saturday, after the day after the release date. Anyways, now let's go and start this. So, the story. So, you would think, oh, a story and the baby is the boss, really, and you couldn't do anything with that, but it has much bigger concept about family, something that DreamWorks is capable of doing, possibly up to the point of being as good as Disney and Pixar. And also the fact of that new baby brother feel, you know, kind of like me, except I was younger than Tim. So I guess it's about babies, and you either go to a family or go and work in business, and the main character would go into business, and yeah, but then he got into a secret mission about getting rid of puppies, or at least having babies have more of the love than puppies, by eliminating the new puppy, the forever puppy, I think it is called, that will take over babies, will eliminate babies as they know it. And Boss Baby is sent on a mission. You think with a story like that, it's really nothing, but in the process of the story, it's like where Tim and the Boss Baby just bond as the story progresses, like whereas at the beginning where he starts hating on them, like hating on the Boss Baby and the other babies, but then when he finds out about the whole mission and he goes to help him, but just to get rid of him, but as the story goes on, he just goes on and they bond, you know. Where I thought the whole bonding, I thought that this would end up like Mr. Peabody and Sherman, where, you know, the bonding is between the two characters is great, but the story ends up unstable. This is a great DreamWorks movie story. And now the animation. I mean, this is actually DreamWorks' signature cartoony animation, where they put it in where they put cartoony animation the best way possible, similar to the Madagascar movies. And considering it's from the same director of those movies. And, you know, the only kind of problem is that I do have of the character designs is just the big anime eyes. Well, I just say that because they're just large, but, you know, but it doesn't affect it as there are some good textures to, like, the house, the objects, even the hair of the characters. Not only that, and the movements of them as well. Especially even in scenes, more specifically when Tim's imagining, in his imagination scenes, and during the real world scenes, it's really that good. I mean, what else can I say? It is possibly, it may not be as creative as Trolls, but it's still, like, very creative. I mean, the story was also, and the story is is a lot better than Trolls. I forgot to say that. And now the characters. This is the high point. I mean, along with the story, the characters are some. So there is Tim Templeton, where he is the secondary main character, where he has, and then the Boss Baby, where he starts going out on the mission and then ends up stealing the attention that Tim once had from the parents, and now that. And then but then they both learn to bond as time goes on, like I mentioned about the story. And then there are the parents that are just, they play a pretty big part, but they're not really so developed as much as, but then again, they didn't really need to. They're not, like, not all characters need to be, but they still had a pretty big role with, with Tim and the Boss Baby. And then there are the other babies, not, like, the other boss or or any of the babies at Baby Corps, but there's also, the babies that are in the humans world, that aren't in Baby Corps, that help the Boss Baby, and, like, our meetings with them against Puppy Corps, which is the company that the parents run. And there are even, and those are the minor characters that help. Stacy, I can't, Gumbo, Jimbo, and the three, then the triplets, I forgot their names, but they are all funny characters, but still help the plot really well. But then there is Francis, the villain of the movie, who wants to launch the Forever Puppies to remove babies immediately. And also, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen the movie, skip this part because there are big spoilers. See, Francis used to be the big fat something boss baby at Baby Corps, but then because he aged because of the formula that didn't work on him, he had to be sent to a family. And so he wants revenge on the babies for doing so, for having that happen. And so take revenge on babies and all that. But Francis is one of the, hands down, one of the most well-developed DreamWorks villain since Drago Bloodfist from How to Train Your Dragon 2. Where, with backstory, everything. And then another minor character, like the other babies, another minor character that actually is fun, that has some writing into it, is Mr. Wiz, or even I'm having trouble. Who is Tim's alarm clock, and he actually talks to Tim a lot, and plays some part in the story, and And then there is... Wait, hold on. Oh, then there's Eugene, which he's kind of the dumb villain sidekick. You know, pretty much like Kronk. Where, you know, I mean, still... But unlike Kronk, like, Eugene is actually, you know, evil and wants to actually, you know, help Francis. And so to end off, these are some of the best characters in a DreamWorks movie yet. So, in conclusion, this is probably, I think, DreamWorks' comeback, no doubt. I mean, the writing is just awesome. The story is really fun. The animation is, what can I say, DreamWorks' signature cartoony animation. And the characters are some of the most well-developed DreamWorks characters ever to come to the big screen. You know, I recommend this for anyone who has loved DreamWorks' past films, like from the 2000s, and even their sequels like Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3 and How to Train Your Dragon 2. Because this is a must-watch for those. And I even recommend this for fans of Alec Baldwin, since, like, the Boss Baby is a lot similar to Baldwin's impersonation of Trump. I mean, I can assume that. I haven't really watched it, but I know what it is. I haven't really watched SNL, but I still know what it is. So, what do I give this movie? Well, it's time that I give it a 9 out of 10. It's a great story. It's just all that. Well, I knew it. And even if this movie didn't bring back DreamWorks, and it wasn't that good of a film, and it was just like Trolls, that Captain Underpants would do what this movie actually did. And now we get to review of trailers for upcoming movies. Not just animated films, but just films in general, like live action too. So let's start with a good start. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Volume 2, whatever you call it. I remember when I first saw the first movie, I didn't like it too much at first, but over time, I ended up really loving it and just watching it from time to time. And so the second movie, I'm so excited for, and it is something that, you know, it must be seen. And then there's another one coming out very soon, this month. The 2 animated films coming this month. The Smurfs, one of them, Smurfs The Lost Village. Now, all I can say about it is, at least I definitely know that it'll be better than the live-action Smurfs movies. That's for sure. And then the other animated film trailer is Spark. Now, just the animation, it just looks not so good. And then there's the whole part of being in the royal family, like the main character being in the royal family that doesn't really look like royal or whatever. And I just kind of don't like it that the studio behind it just wanted to put Jace Norman as the main character, because I mean, just maybe they just want to put Nickelodeon stars, I guess, on it. I don't know what. I don't even recall what studio it was from. Some one that I never heard of before, that's for sure. And then another movie that comes out soon. Transformers: The Last Knight. Now, I am not really a fan of the live-action Transformers. I did kind of like the first one, but then the other ones I didn't really like so much. I just rather, watch like the original cartoon, or, well, some consider it an anime since it was made by Toei Animation. So, you know, but that's all I can say about it. And then there's Wonder Woman, which, I mean, it has a chance of being good, you know. Just, yeah, really, no one's gonna get hyped up for it because it might be disappointing like Batman v Superman was last year. And so, I think I will maybe give it a pass. What else? And then there is Leap. Now, this is an animated film from the Weinstein Company, where their only good animated film was Hoodwinked. But Leap looks like it could be an actually good, because it has actually pretty good animation, and just by looking at the trailer, where one wants to be an inventor, and where one person wants to be an inventor, the other wants to be like a dancer, and I guess it's a story about following your dreams, so this has potential that it will be good. And then we have some summer movies coming out. Now, the first one, Captain Underpants. Now, you know, I think it'll be as good as The Boss Baby. Maybe not as good, but still an enjoyable film. And since I used to really love the Captain Underpants books, and from what I see in the trailer, like, they have the original character designs of the original books, something that Peanuts movie also did, and it was great. Well, and then there's another movie coming soon. It's Diary of a Wimpy Kid: The Long Haul. I wasn't really too much of a fan of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, but like Captain Underpants, I loved the original books. Like, I remember reading all of them in one day, well, from the first to the 8th one, at least. And even now, every year when a new one comes out, I read that, and it takes me like 45 minutes. But The Long Haul, it's just, because like the original cast of the first 3 are older now, it's like, you know, they replaced with them with a new cast, aside from Roderick and Frank Heffley. But, and the thing that really bothers me is that Greg and Riley look younger. Like, younger than how they did in the first movie. You know, so I don't even know why they just made one now, when they could have made it, like, maybe a year after Dog Days was released, or something like that. But I guess we'll not know. And then there is Cars 3. Now, I've seen some good trailers for it, and, you know, a lot of people say that Cars is Pixar's weakest franchise. I personally, you know, I grew up watching the first one. I mean, I actually really like the first one. The second one, I can see why people hate it. I mean, it was just, like, predictable and just a generic spy story mixed with, you know, some of the first one. But Cars 3 has, like, even by the teaser trailer, you just want to see what happens, like, where Lightning McQueen, I guess he gets in a crash or something, and is he okay? I don't know. And then there's, oh yeah, Despicable Me 3. This has a pretty good chance of being funny, since it has, like, I mean, it may not be, I don't think it'll be as good as the first 2. In fact, maybe not even as good as Minions. But it'll still be an enjoyable film. And then, Oh yeah, and then okay, I have two more. So the first will be Coco, Pixar's Coco, which is coming out in November. And from what I see about it, it looks like a Book of Life clone, you know, where it's centered around Dia de los Muertos, and that, you know, and that the main character of the movie, like, goes to the dead world. It's similar to what, you know, the main character from the Book of Life does. Yeah. But however, from what I can, the only difference I can make is that for Coco, I don't really know too much of the story, really. It's not about, unlike Book of Life, Coco I don't think is not a love story. Like, I don't think it's a love story, but, you know, but it's still, the animation does look pretty good, you know, I mean, it's Pixar, what do you expect? But yeah, I should see more of it, though, before I jump to conclusions. But then we have what I believe is to be the last animated film to be released in 2017, which is Ferdinand. Now, this is, from what I know, it's based on a book of same name, you know, and it's apparently about a bull, and that's all I remember about it. And that in the movie, the bull will be voiced by none other than John Cena. I mean, as excited as I am about it, I don't know. It could be a hit or miss. I mean, at least it's not another Ice Age sequel, because, and I think thank God there'll be no more Ice Age sequels, because Blue Sky has officially canceled the 6th and 7th movies. So, yeah. As for other movies, well, I haven't really gone into them that much, and there hasn't been a lot of trailers for them. What I'm talking about is the Nut Job 2 and the Emoji Movie, which, I'm just gonna say this, that they're both gonna suck. But to end off, a lot of these movies will be great, and I cannot wait to see them. See you later, dudes.